If you mess around with pedals long enough, sooner or later you discover that there are some effects that have a mind of their own. I'm talking about pedals that take whatever you play and treat that as a suggestion, producing results that may or may not sound like what you actually played. Some people love pedals like this, some people hate them, and some people don't know what to make of them. But regardless of which of those three categories you fit into, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 pro tips for working with effects like this in ways that actually sound good. My first piece of advice is, if you're going to use a pedal that is this weird in the first place, don't be afraid to reach down and mess with the controls while you're in the middle of playing it. If you're going to let a pedal have this much control over what it sounds like you're playing, sometimes you got to control it right back. In a recording situation, it's not that bad. You can just put it on a desk and deal with it. At a gig, it can be more of a hassle. You either have to get a waist-high pedal board going, or you have to hook up an expression pedal to do it with your foot, or you just got to crouch down and mess around with the pedals at the show. But to prove that it can be worth it, I'm about to play something using the brand new Syntax Air XP from Alexander Pedals. This is like a Leap series update to their Syntax Air pedal. And one of the new features in it is that it has a spread parameter now, which is doing some kind of stereo imaging. But I discovered that if you run the pedal in mono and then you mess with the spread parameter in the middle of playing it, it has a really cool effect. In fact, I even noticed that the smaller adjustment is cooler. So it was like hard for me to do that precisely with an expression pedal. I just had to use my hand. So in the thing you're about to see, I like strum a chord once and then reach over and mess with it. That's the other thing. The real pro tip here is that you don't have to play a lot if you're going to do something like this. If the pedal is doing a lot, you do not need to do a lot. You're going to see I just strum a chord dumbly and then use my hand to mess with the knobs. But sometimes dumb parts are the right thing. By the way, if you want to buy any of the gear in this video, I have affiliate links you can use that'll give me a small commission on anything you buy. I'll put the affiliate links in the video description. Money. For pro tip number 2, if you just want to take the easy way out and make music that sounds good by normal standards, you can use weird pedals to do it. You just have to double track yourself against something that's not very weird. Or in a live setting, if you have 2 guitar players, one of them takes the weird sound and the other one takes a much more normal sound. This works really well for sputtering fuzzes where like the notes collapse in on themselves, like the ZVEX Fuzz Factory in some settings, or PLL style effects like the Data Corrupter from Earthquaker Devices. But in the example you're about to hear, I'm using the 20% more from Fairfield Circuitry. This is a very unstable pedal. You'll hear I start out by playing this, but then I save the day by bringing in 2 overdubs where I'm just trying to be like a normal rock guy. And for that, I use the Barbershop from Fairfield Circuitry. This is a overdrive pedal that does not produce a huge amount of distortion, but it sounds great. And even with the amount of distortion it does produce, if you combine that with something weirder, the result is surprisingly heavy and very usable even for a conventional distortion sound. Pro tip number 3 is let the arrangement do the work. You can get away with a lot if the arrangement is supportive. So what I mean is you're about to hear me play something where the guitar sound is very weird, but then I bring in a melody and a bass part, and both of those are no bullshit. The melody is just playing cute little notes, and the bass part is just defining the chords and doing a little bit of walking. But with only those 3 things going on, the weirdness and the glitchy pedal bullshit of the guitar part ends up sounding remarkably like it's supposed to be like that. The weird pedal I'm using is the Parting from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. You may also know this as the Emily Hopkins signature pedal. You know it's not fucking around because it has a knob that's called Chance, which controls the chance that your signal will be fed into some sort of high feedback reverb delay line that just like completely nukes whatever your idea was. But that's cool. You're going to hear in the thing you're about to hear, my sound got nuked a couple times, but the arrangement was so deliberate that it sounded like it happened on purpose. Pro tip number 4 is think rhythmically. A lot of really weird pedals can become useful if you just think of them as a percussive element, or even if you take a drum machine and run it through the pedal. So instead of thinking of a pedal as something that needs to preserve the note or the chord or the harmonic information on what you're playing, think of it as something that is just creating rhythmic information and let that be the cool part. So for the example you're about to hear, I'm using the Glitch Witch from Cosmodio Instruments. This is a really cool fuzz that can do this amplitude modulation thing where it creates like a tremolo effect, but the speed of the tremolo is going to be a fraction of the frequency of the note you're playing, which means the tempo of the tremolo effect is going to change with every note you play. Now, if you're used to thinking of tremolo as something that should match the tempo of the song you're playing, this is going to be a nightmare. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's actually cool to let there be some rhythmic chaos in what you're doing, especially if everybody else can keep time. In fact, to push things even harder, I ran this into a delay. I ran it into the sending from Electronic Audio Experiment. So the delay also added its own rhythm. But if you just let that be part of the picture and trust that it'll be great, it can be great. Take pro tip 4 seriously and you think rhythmically long enough, a day may come where you're ready to leave chord changes behind completely. That's what I call pro tip number 5. You're just thinking in terms of the moment. So instead of thinking, well, this song is about this change to that change to that change, or this song is about like, this rhythm following that rhythm, you just find some single musical event you like and then try to live inside that event for as long as possible. This might not even be as radical as it sounds if you think about a record like Remain in Light by the Talking Heads. In my opinion, that album is just like a bunch of attempts to show what you can do with that kind of approach to music. So for the example you're about to hear, I use The Mood from Chase Bliss. The right side of this pedal has what is sometimes called a micro looper, where it'll just like grab onto some moment in what you were playing and then reinstantiate that moment over and over and over again. I didn't think too much about what I was trying to get the pedal to do. I just let it feast on my playing. And what I was playing was like B flat 7 sus 4 chord. I was just trying to do the McCoy Tyner thing, a root, perfect 4th, minor 7th. But as you're about to see, just that much is enough to make something that sounds like a real song.